I get into these modes of momentum where it's not just about me doing things. It's more about I have the belief to do things, and I'm in a state of this certainty that everything's gonna work out for me, and that there is no fear, and that and I get into that momentum and that drive where because of that belief system, because there is no all the doubts removed, because I'm confident in myself, because of all of this, and I feel like nature's on my side, that I'm spiritually aligned. Because I get into these zones, the work comes easy. I start fucking, writing to-do lists, right? I start like, I start making wireframes and stuff like that for the company, like and all of the little things that usually would stop me, the little tedious stuff, the little, bumps in the road that would make me overthink and make me stop, working. I kind of just like push them. I either overcome them or just kind of move them to the side. I'm like, this is too small to worry about. And I go and I go and I go and I go and I go. And then you guys see me fall into the other spot where I'm making videos talking about like that I hate myself. I'm making videos talking about feeling doubt, feeling uncertainty, feeling that God's not on my side, feeling all these things. And what I realized, I was taking a walk yesterday, bro. I wish I could have taken a walk today. I couldn't though. I had anyways. Is that my success directly, but the success and the things I got to do in this life directly correlate to how long I can stay in the positive state, right? Because once the doubt creeps in, once the uncertainty creeps in, once I start becoming fearful, once I start isolating, once I stop doing stuff, I stop being creative, I I spend my time escaping, I spend my time doing other things, and all those old patterns of behavior returning and piling onto one another. It's like that's when things stop. That's when the momentum stops, and it's so hard in that spot to get the car back to moving again. So I almost have to have this sense, not urgency, like I almost have to understand that I cannot afford to like stop the momentum. Like no matter what, when I'm in this state, I have to preserve it. That's the better word. If I'm in this state of certainty and I'm in this state of confidence and I'm in the steam is rolling, the steamroller is rolling and the car is moving and the horse is drifting, you know what I mean? Jumping over those leaps, right? I have to have the awareness to understand where I'm at in that moment. Be like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. I made it back here. I worked hard. Bro, this pimple is bothering me. I made it back here. I've worked hard to get back to this state because I wasn't in this state like a couple weeks ago. I'm here now. I got to preserve this for as long as possible because this is the thing that takes me to the next level. If I can, bro, if I can stay in this state and I can prolong this for 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 years, if I could just stay in this state, and that's not saying that I'm not gonna have a bad day. That's not saying that. That's not saying that. That's more so saying that overall, if I average all the days, and on average, I'm in a state of certainty, in a state of faith, in a state of leaning on God, and trusting, in a state of doing and executing, and and even when I have fear, like just doing things beyond the fear, and just doing, you know, delivering, moving. If I could stay in this state, bro. So I gotta understand that those bad days, I can't let those one-off bad days, even that day I had that I talked about yesterday, that day when I wrote that fucking sad ass shit. If I you know, the classic meditation thing. If I don't sit here detached and I grab onto one of those bad days, and that bad day turns into a bad week, which turns into a bad month, which turns into like cataclysmic thought and hydrocon hy- hypochondriac. What is that? What's the word I'm looking for? Hypochondriac. A hypochondriac. If it turns into hypochondriac, if I'm making a mountain out of a hill, if every little thing I'm building up, especially in that dark way, then I can't afford to do that. So what I've realized is that in an effort to make meaning out of life, in an effort to make meaning out of things, I've realized that a lot of times I'll take something small and I'll turn it into something that it's not. You know, and this goes into another talk about this relationship I have with God. A lot of times is based out of shame. You know, it's me feeling bad for doing stuff because I in my head like this is something that's bad, right? Now obviously there's bad shit, right? That I and you have kind of like this discernment within you to know what's bad and what's good. But like, okay, it should be like, okay, I did a bad thing, like that's fine, or I did a thing, it is what it is, move on. But no, that bad thing becomes something else, and I'm making it into like this very shameful thing. But my shame, my relationship with God being shameful, says much more about me than it says about God, right? Me thinking that like that God is always going to be only going to be pleased with me when I do X, Y, and Z, when I do this, this, and this, and when whatever it is, that says so much more about me than it does about God. That shows just all God's doing in these moments is just holding up a mirror to my face. It's just the hand holding up the mirror and me being like, "Fuck, dude, fuck," you know. But I'm making more out of things than there is. I think even the good things. I feel like even the good things, I don't need to take it to that next level sometimes. I think I just need to be like, this is enjoyable. I'm happy about myself. I'm proud about myself. Like, it doesn't need to get to that next level of, oh my God, this is ordained. Like, da da da. Which it probably is, bro. I'm not even going to lie. It's probably chosen. It's probably whatever it is. But because as above, so below, because if I'm saying I'm ordained in some ways, then in other ways, I'm saying that my suffering is necessary in my like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm making meaning out of the bad shit. And when you're constantly making meaning out of bad shit, you're almost in a way justifying the bad shit. And you're justifying being in that state, which makes it more okay to be in that state, right? But once again, if I can stay in this state, if I can stay for the most part grounded, for the most part on average, in times uncertain, and writing a to-do list and executing my to-do list and like just chiseling away at shit over and over again without thinking about the whole statue. I'm just hitting the pieces. I'm just just drawing because I want to draw, not because I want to finish a masterpiece. Because I'm just enjoying putting line on paper. Because I'm enjoying hitting notes on the guitar, not to make a song, right? If I could just stay there, if I can have the presence of mind to be like, I'm here right now. I'm here. We need to preserve this, and in a way allow myself peace. I feel like for so long I've denied myself peace because I didn't feel like I deserved it. And that's why I kept going back into addiction. That's why I kept going fucking doing stupid shit. And isolating and being self-deprecating and putting myself in spots where I would know would make me depressed, so that I could be depressed, so that I could justify being depressed, so then I could, do all the other bad shit, right? If I could say to myself, like, I don't deserve that no more, like, and allow myself peace. If I could allow myself peace, woo, you better watch out. Everything I said yesterday will happen. Everything I was talking about yesterday will 100% happen, because every time the train stops, it's literally just me standing in front of it, being like, "Don't hit me." But it's like, why am I even standing in front of my own train? Like, it's like I'm doing some dumb shit. It's like I'm the only one that stopped me in every time. And when I'm the one that stops me, and I don't acknowledge that, and then I put it on God, it's like so fucked. It's like, dude, how am I putting it on God that my shoulder has been fucked up for months? Because every time I got a little bit better, I would go do some stupid shit. Like, I would go golfing. I would go do heavy workout. How am I gonna get mad? My chest hurts when I've always had heartburn. And it's just gotten worse, and I'm still having 2 coffees a day. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I blame God when something bad happens to me, rather than leaning and just being like, God, this thing happened to me, like, you know, and just telling God what's going on and saying, this happened to me. This. It's like I almost turn away, or I do talk to God, but it's more like, why, in a more of a disrespectful manner. But it's like, dude, that had nothing to do with him. The thing that happened had literally nothing to do with him, right? It had much more to do with me, me doing stupid and putting myself in stupid positions and making dumb decisions, or thinking certain thoughts. Like, over the weekend on Friday, I got my new boss started, and I called up my coworker to ask her how it was, and how my new boss was, and her reaction wasn't too like good, and that just sent me into a misery where I was miserable the whole rest of the day and the night, and I couldn't talk to my family. I wasted time I had with my family because I did the thing. I let a little wisp turn into a ball, and that ball turned into a fucking big ass snowball, just rolling down the hill. It's like, and I'm not even trying to shame myself right now, but that's literally what happened. Rather than in that moment being like, yo, God, I'm feeling really upset right now, but I want to spend time with my family, because that's not what I wanted, and that's not his fault. But that's not what I wanted in that moment. I wanted to feel miserable. I wanted to sulk. I wanted to be like, yo, is my family noticing that I'm miserable right now? I'm playing some sort of like. I need to let that go. There's those old parts I gotta let go, because as I continue to let those pieces go, I can spend more time here. I can spend more time in this momentum. I can spend more time here, and there's less things stopping me. But I once again need to preserve this momentum as much as possible. Stay in this state for as long as possible, because once again, if I stay in this state with no breaks for like a couple months to a year to when it, however long, shit gets crazy. My life gets fucking crazy, and I know it gets crazy. So, anyways, that I don't know if any of that made sense, but guys, girls, gays, queers, they, them, z's, or all. Everyone, anyone. Hello, rest. Bless, rest your Tuesday. I'll catch you guys on a beautiful Wednesday.